Hail, hail, welcome to the HomeBhoys led podcast. It is Monday, the 16th of March. That's right. It's the day before St. Patrick's Day. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back. Joined by Mr. Jason Higgins.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, brother. Good. Feeling good?
Aye. Feeling good, mate. Best I've felt about Celtic this season, I think. So.
To say, it's a rare and swift turnaround of emotion. You know what I mean? It's we'll get to that soon. Oh, we're joined by someone else here. Also joined by Liam Power, Longshanks.
How are you, Joseph? You good?
I'm good. Tomorrow off here, so we get Paddy's Day off. It's bank holiday here, so absolutely a few sherbets tonight on the show. Just joined under the wire by Yang's empty bag.
What's happening?
I assume you mean his kit bag because he had there the shorts and his shirt to be out there because he's a generous guy.
What's happening?
You all right, Marty? You good?
Oh, good, bro. Sitting here with a pint myself.
So we've got a lot to cover. I suppose we can happily start back at Ibrox because it wasn't that long ago. Am I right in thinking Liam and you and Jason were both there?
Yeah. We were, officer, and we stayed in the stands. Officer.
No further comment.
I was in attendance. That's our done. So, right? I mean, there's not a whole lot of football to be discussed when it comes to talking about that game because it wasn't up there with the worst games of football I've ever seen in my life, but it definitely was a nervy and kind of fairly low quality affair. But I kind of want to talk to you during the days with texting us talking about, I know you brought Zoe with you, Liam. It was a bit of a shite show getting into the stadium.
Yeah. So a bit apprehensive before the game again, I guess. Obviously got a big lift, pulling back and getting the draw. I think that was the week before, was it? The weekend before?
That was Sunday before, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, once we got the full Broomloan again, I wanted Zoe to experience that, so I managed to pick up a couple of tickets, which was good. Took her on. I wasn't going to be driving, so I just jumped on the bus, which was absolutely heaving. And obviously, there'd been a bit of chat beforehand about this turning up at 10 o'clock nonsense and whatever else. And see if you just cut to the chase, right? We've had that fixture with that many fans in hundreds and hundreds of times before, and I've been there over 10 times, never seen any remote incident, anything at all. Bus goes in, parks up, you walk around the corner, around the roundabout, fans each side, but I've never seen any bother anyway when I've been there. And so why the police or the club saw fit to change all of the security arrangements before the game was pretty baffling to me. I wouldn't go to the league games because I can't be bothered with the 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is before. It's just for me, it just spoils the whole spectacle of what going to watch football is all about. It's just a bit of a nonsense. But obviously, this one I just thought, well, it's just going to be normal time. We'll just do what we normally do: jump on the bus, rock up 40 minutes before kick-off, and walk up, and you're in. So there's no bother at all. So I'd never even come in from that part. I don't know, Jason, obviously you'll know you've been going for years, but I've never come in from that part.
No, it's never been a thing.
Yeah. Well, so, I kind of got a bit lost the way the bus went, because the bus normally just comes in straight off the motorway and it's straight into Helen Street, and it's like it's a doddle really. Whereas the bus went all round the Wrekin to kind of get itself to come in, and we must have been one of the last buses to arrive because it was full. The street was full when we got there. So we got dropped off at the bottom of it and had no idea even where the bus was going to be. At the end, the guy just said that we'll probably be on the away bus coach, which was fine. So as it turned out, I was right outside the away end. I wasn't quite sure where that would be, so that was good. So changing all the arrangements made no sense to me at all, given the numbers that we'd safely had there before. So we were quite late. So we got up there, and you could just see it kind of really congregating as you were starting to get towards the kind of the entrance in to get towards the turnstiles. And, we've talked about this so many times on here before, squeezed into a narrow space on the street, police on horses blocking people getting in. Making a gap of no more than about 4 to 6 feet, or maybe a bit more than that, but not much more than 6 feet wide. Letting 100 through and then back again. Horses meeting up again and stopping people moving, and all you're getting then is more people pushing from the back because they're trying to get themselves in. People getting agitated with the police. And to be fair, some of them are absolutely brand new. Do you know what I mean? And
I was going to say that because we spoke to them and they didn't know what was going on either.
Yeah,
they were like, look, we don't know.
Yeah, they looked a bit embarrassed by the whole setup themselves, to be honest. And like Zoe's a bit anxious with stuff, and I was concerned about her, obviously, because it was crushing quite a bit. But she was fine. I kind of had her right in front of me. But there was a guy next to me with a kid about 8 or 9, and the police actually pulled them out, in fairness, and took them around the side, which was good. So most of them seemed all right, but then you've just got the ones on the horses, and I just think it's quite antagonistic the way they've done it. And we've seen it many, many times. So that felt a bit unnecessary. You're creating a crush, you're creating a bit of tension straight away, which is not really helping matters. A kind of barely a check of the ticket when I went through. The guy just kind of glanced at it, to be honest with you. A little pat down, then into the stadium. And when we went on to buy them, I picked to sit up the stairs rather than down the stairs. So I just thought we should get a better view and stuff, and not knowing obviously what was going to kind of transpire after the game anyway. So it's good. Decent atmosphere. Obviously having the whole section. The Simply the Best thing was pretty funny as well. Obviously the two support singing with very different lyrics in between the songs. But it's all. I thought it was fairly decent natured. Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit of crack certainly from our side anyway, and the streamers and whatever coming down. Another appalling tifo from them. Not even quite sure what it was or what it was trying to be. And then the game, the 2 hours of the game, you could almost just dismiss it and write it off. And I guess the big talking point was, no Callum McGregor. I saw that on the bus, which kind of set the nerves running straight away. And then no Tierney as well, And I, as the game transpired, I thought Sirachi was injured, and I thought that maybe just put him on the bench as a bit of a smokescreen. But I read or heard somewhere after that O'Neill had deliberately picked that team, so he had 3 centre halves essentially, across the back line to give us a bit of height, which is typical O'Neill, and actually did help us a bit because we defended really well, and set pieces we were pretty solid in that regard. So, I know we've kind of been defenders of Liam Scales on here, but captain on the day, booked in the first 5 minutes, I think it was, and then went through 2 hours, without kind of putting himself at risk. I thought all the defenders were really, really good on the day. We had pretty much nothing going the other way, but defensively, I thought we were superb without really threatening. But we talked on here the last podcast. You can't even pick a forward line, can you? Really, that you're going to have confidence that they're going to go and do much really. And the players that have performed well off the bench when they're starting, they're not really doing, what they're doing. And Yang obviously will change our tact when we talk about Saturday, but I thought Yang had really got off the boil the last few games. Mieda was just all over the shop. Any of the centre forwards that were playing were contributing very little, and Tenecti, once he gets a start, doesn't really have anywhere near the same impact. 2 hours, job done. Obviously a couple of disallowed goals that you weren't sure of what was what. Our goal, I'm not sure what them lines were all about at all. It kind of half feels like Scales, maybe his heel was off or something, but we don't really cover ourselves in much of a professional light up here for the game, do we, with some of these camera angles we're using for VAR. But anyway, so that was that. And your man scoring his goal, just 2 handballs in the act of scoring the goal, and still runs off celebrating, which give me a chuckle. Yeah, we'll come on to it later. But what was, Jason, I don't know whether you noticed at the time, but what was really pretty pathetic was your man Raskin, and I think it was Barami, who basically just stood for 2 minutes looking at the Celtic fans, trying to antagonise them, and didn't even celebrate with their teammates who were like 20 yards away, from them. 2 players that haven't won a thing between them, complete no marks, and that's the way they feel they want to operate. So. Pretty sad, but hey ho, came back to bite them.
Didn't very well.
Yeah, and then on to the penalties, and I'm sure, like most, I was shitting myself. You know, we're so bad at scoring penalties, at saving penalties. Obviously, Schmeichel wasn't in the picture this time. And I just thought Sinisalo set the tone, really. You know, even though he didn't save any, and he probably should definitely have saved one, if not two of them. But he just exuded a confidence, I thought, all game, you know, and coming for crosses, coming out for stuff, clearing stuff from the edge of his box. And I thought he carried that into the penalty shootout. He was kind of noising him up a little bit and kind of trying to grab the ball and whatever. So, but then when you're seeing the players step up, Oxlade-Chamberlain, you're happy with him, with his experience, and it was a great penalty. As soon as Tab went up, you're thinking, right, that's 1-0. You know, you're kind of almost ticking off as an absolute given. And him hitting the bar was a massive, massive boost to us because, you know, you losing the toss twice as well. You're like, fuck, right, nothing's going our way here. So confidence levels were low. So to get ahead was brilliant. I thought Trusty did really well with his penalty. And then your man Gassama missing as well. I was so pleased because he's a diving bastard. You know, he's decent on his day, but like he just hops around all the time and dives around all the time. So I was delighted to see him miss. And then obviously getting the win was superb. And it was just complete party time. And we can come on to the afters in a bit, Jason.
Until it wasn't party time.
Yeah. You can give your view of the game of the day.
There's not really much to add in the game. Obviously, we get the goal and then it got disallowed for offside. And I've seen quite a few replays and I'm still no convinced, but I don't know. You've got to take it at face value. And it was disallowed. So that was a bit of a downer. And with their goal, you could clearly see it was a handball, but the way he was celebrating, I turned around to Ellie and I'm like, maybe this isn't a bloody handball, you know. Because the way he was celebrating, you're saying to yourself, he's confident he's going to get this. And then when you see the replay, he's handled it twice. You know, so just mental. And plus, all their fans are on the track, jumping about. You know, that didn't really get mentioned much. When it seemed like it's no a done thing running on the park. But there you go. But I thought Sinisalo was brilliant. And I agree with you with Scales in the defence. It seemed a weird one playing Scales at left back when you've got a ready-made left back there, but obviously it was for the cross balls and that, so that you get three big guys in there to header it away, etc. So it definitely worked for us. I thought defensively we were brilliant, but going forward, they just did nothing really. And Yang was like a statue. He done absolutely nothing. And the less said about Mavuka when he came on, bloody hell, I thought he'd won a raffle to get a game. But
Sucker it.
Aye, but there wasn't really any right home about it. But I thought, see, during the game, usually it's heart in your mouth material, but I wasn't really like that. I didn't really, because they had loads of free kicks at the edge of the box and outside the box, they float them in. But Sinisalo was brilliant, either punching them or just coming out and catching them, which is a thing that Schmeichel never does, you know. So he definitely breached confidence in the defence, and I thought we defended great. And it was a kind of Martin O'Neill masterclass, to be honest with you. Obviously, knowing what tools he had, I thought Hatate was really good again.
Yeah.
But nothing much to write home about. At the end of the day, it's cup football. All that matters is a W, and they got the win at the end of it, and it was absolutely brilliant. So, the celebrations went on long into the night. It was absolutely brilliant. So, delighted.
I think if that match proved anything to me, it's that this team, regardless of all its flaws, there's a will about them that is far beyond the sum of their talents, right? And that can only be down to coaching.
And they've got a set of balls about them anyway.
That's what I mean. There's a determination and a steel to them that is becoming more and more evident, despite the fact that some of the actual product isn't great and some of the actual players aren't that great. There just appears to be this sort of momentum. Now it felt like, especially after the Motherwell game, this momentum, and you've kind of only got you've got to look at O'Neill and Maloney as well and think, well, that's down to what they're being told and how they're being treated and how it's being communicated to them. And this is part of the first time, I think, like all of us here, I thought to myself, what, this could go, right?
And the penalty shootout was like it's kind of the least worried I've been at a penalty, because obviously you know my feelings with Celtic with penalties, and if Schmeichel was in goals, I'd have walked it because of. But with Sinisalo, and the ironic thing is he probably should have saved 2 of them. You know, they weren't great penalties, and he guessed right, and just kind of was unlucky and didn't get to them. But
I was kind of like that, Jason. I was kind of like say la vie when the penalty started, and then again Tavernier missed. And I was like,
straight away you've got the advantage. And to be fair to our penalties, every penalty was a belter. But in Butland's record is he saved 8 out of 9 for the open play. And I don't think he saved 1 of ours in the penalty shootout. For the semi-final, we scored a lot of them.
The penalty gods have to be with you. If the penalty gods aren't with you, you're fucked.
But to be fair, it looked as if they'd practiced them because they were very assured, and you know they stuck them away well. And fair play to Biggs Finchara as well, you know, because he's not been scored another one at the weekend there. And as I say, he's not been great, but hopefully that'll give him a bit of confidence with a couple of penalties.
Marty, where did you watch it, mate?
Well, I just watched it in the house with a wee man. I was out the week before. I was in the finals for the league game, but no, it was just at home for that one. But I just haven't really much to add apart from what I said. It wasn't a great game of football, but we had chances to win it. You know what I mean? And chances to score. And you know, if that's the case, Celtic will always convert more chances usually than they'll miss. But it just so happened that just the way the things fell with the offside. And there was another couple of other decent chances too. Butland had a couple of decent saves, and like all this about the fucking Huns and all. I really didn't really feel worried about it the whole way through the match. And like Liam's already mentioned, Liam Scales. Liam Scales was brilliant, absolutely brilliant on the day. Do you know what I mean? In a match where like the slightest wee thing could have cost you, the refereeing decision could have cost you. Liam said he was booked early doors, but got through the whole game. Do you know? And when I came to the penalties, just saying there too, I was very relaxed, and you know, nobody like with penalty kicks, like penalty shootouts and fucking whatever else. It's always a horror story, but we were helped along by them. But it's good to see that players are confident enough to take penalties and step up. When I seen Austin Trusty stepping up for a penalty, I couldn't fucking believe it. It's like, what the fuck's this? Do you know? But again, he put it away well, and you know, it's just. It was just one of those like mad cup ties that Celtic get involved in, and I'm not talking even about what happened after the match. I'm talking about just the way it went during the game, you know, and like they were home, and they needed a result against us the week before and they couldn't get it, and they didn't get one that day either. Like they must have been fucking absolutely crestfallen. Like I sent us the text from my own mate, you know, and I was waiting up saying, "Don't worry about it, they still got a league to lose," you know, and trying to fucking pile on the agony. So they must have been just distraught at the end of it. And all the shit that happened afterwards is basically a distraction to me. You know, the football is the bottom line, and we're through. You know, we're through to the next round and a semi-final for everybody. So, like, you know what I mean? It was just a stodgy game, no real quality. They are nothing to write home about. Again, I thought they were tired, looking tired as well, certainly in the injury time period. They're just big fucking lumps. You know what I mean? There's not a bit of football about them at all. And like
that one at the end, Marty, see when Forrest went down the wing, I was convinced we were going to score. See the last kick?
Yeah.
I know.
See if he'd just put a better goal in the middle.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and we weren't great either. You know, over the course of the match, it was it kind of just kept it tight, I suppose. Tried not to give goals away. But like you're right about that like a double handball was ridiculous, absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like what the fuck? He made a complete cunt of himself, fucking charging away and thing. Like what did he think was going to happen?
He basically spiked the ball over the leg.
Like it was a great, you know what I mean? It was like a volleyball fucking punter, you know, something like that. But it was just like, fucking hell, mate. Why did you think you were going to ever get away with that? Especially after what happened the week before, you know what I mean, with the Maida. The thing, you know, there's not a fucking mission. And so look, and the likes of Raskin and them too, like they're decent enough players, but they're just the Rangers are a poor team. Like if we lost the league this year, I'll be fucking raging at our own foibles, but particularly because the standard has not improved. Do you know what I mean? They're a bad lot. They're hard to watch. They've no creativity really, and you know the struggle to break us down. They had all the possession that they were fucking going on about, but they never, all these shots apparently that they fucking had. I don't remember Sinisalo really being under any pressure at
Oh,
all.
make a good save now. There they are.
You know what I mean? He was,
Well, that's
and
what they proved, though. I mean, they proved in that game they could have all possession, they could do all the moving the ball around, and not
do you
really
know what I
create
mean?
much with it.
But and that Celtic were happy to let them do it. Like that's the point about the back line. The back line looked okay. Do you know what I mean? There was no real like heart in your mouth moments. There's maybe a couple of chances and things like that, but like it's just what Jason was saying there about Schmeichel not being in the team. Sinisalo has made a real fucking positive difference since he
Well, it
came
hasn't
in.
half.
I just think if that decision had been taken out of fucking Schmeichel's hands earlier,
I know.
we probably would have been sitting in a better position. Like look at Stuttgart and look at some of the league games and things as well, where you could tell Schmeichel just couldn't fucking do it. And I don't wish Casper Schmeichel any ill will, but fucking hell, that's why people are paid money to make those decisions and
But
and
do you think this injury kind of story is more of a dignified transition rather than just a here, listen, mate, fucking you're too fat and too old, like the fuck?
Well, have you heard
No,
his
I-
interview over the weekend?
I
Have
was
you heard
interviewed
what he
in
said?
Denmark.
Yeah.
And he
And he
admits he
said-
was fucking injured. So, like, what the fuck? What were you doing on the pitch, you dickhead? He's
Yeah.
probably so. The whole theory was that we were trying to showcase him so that he could get to the World Cup. But he's going to go to the fucking World Cup anyway. So he would have actually been better taking a few weeks off and having a rest. And like Martin O'Neill's a fucking idiot. See Martin O'Neill coming out and saying that publicly about him getting his injection. Like, what the I had my head, my hands were hurt. I was like, are you fucking senile? What are you doing? You never reveal medical fucking things, the advantage. It's not, because he was playing. It's not like he had, you had to take a fucking injection, so we'll give him 3 weeks off. He was fucking still playing when he said it. And you're like, what the fuck did you tell people that for? So you could just see he was struggling on it. He's been struggling on it for a year. Like it was fucking nearly his time last season. It was May last year or no, it was actually this international break at this time last year when it happened. Do you know what I mean? So that's 12 months that it hasn't been allowed to heal. And it cost us in the cup final. There should have been decisions made after that. Sinisalo looked really good last year when he came on for the cup games and whatever else. And Rodgers himself came out and said, "Well, he's not going on loan now, so he should have been trusted with 6 games." Or what the fuck's that? Somebody fucking skiing there.
Just moving house.
He says,
Linda's just gone for the shops and she's putting stuff away, so I'm going.
Aye.
Somebody should have fucking, said to him, "You've got 2 months worth of football here, whether he's coming back or not. Don't worry about it. Just play. Just play." And also, too, see his activity at the penalty shootout was fucking class. It was like Bruce Grobbelaar. You couldn't take your eyes off him. He was hopping about. He was telling fucking players where to kick the ball. He lifted the ball after the penalties and handed it back to the Celtic player. It was just brilliant. It's just that's exactly what you want. And I actually thought the week before Butland's approach to penalties was interesting. Did you notice he stood two yards behind
Inside the goal, I was wondering what that was.
I thought that was a smart thing to do because while you're costing yourself a bit of space, you're also adding momentum to your step. So he didn't really do it again the second week, which was strange because I was waiting on him. So I bet he fucking does this again. It actually worked for him last week, or it almost worked for him. But that at that penalty shootout, like Sinisalo owned it. He owned the fucking penalties, and a wee bit of Baruch, that type of mad mentality going on seemed to be, but brilliant result. And funny, I was telling somebody the other day, me and the wee man were sitting watching it, and when that second penalty that they missed was missed, me and him were sitting on this tee, and when your man put it on the spot, I said to the wee man, "Right, blow." And he was like, "What?" That's like, "Blow, blow." And he's going. So he started blowing at the TV, and next thing the fucking thing went up over the bar. So he was taking full credit for the bars missing. He's like, "Yes, yes." Like fucking juju. So it was, fucking juju. So no, look, it was absolutely brilliant, and I've repeated this all year. I've said it in previous years. This is the business end of the fucking season. If we couldn't have a better manager in place to manage this type of thing, he's seen it all, and those other coaches have not been here. And you've seen what happened to Hearts on Saturday, and we've seen the Huns look fucking flaky. So it's in our own hands, and if we can keep this momentum going, we should win.
I like that. I like the sound of that. Martin O'Neill's ways. He's like a fucking Celtic Gandalf coming back to fucking
But I'll tell you something,
root
Joe,
over the wall.
just before we move off the Huns match, whenever they were going for the penalties and they were in the huddle, it was Maloney. He was in the
I
fucking
seen that.
middle of them,
Aye.
and he was fucking giving it the fucking whole 9 yards in the huddle. So they're a good wee team. It seems to be. Martin O'Neill's happy to let Maloney, stretch himself or whatever. He's not all in about him and fucking trying to dominate the proceedings. You know what I mean? So
What I noticed at the game, Marty, was Sinisalo. Sinisalo was getting round everybody shouting at them.
Is that right? Fuck.
Aye, he was getting round everybody and he was bawling and shouting and have to come on. And it was like, when you looked at our players, they were totally fired up for it. When you looked at them, they were kind of just milling about sort of thing. There was
and see the thing is too, Jason, the Huns have been in this position for now 14 years. Apart from the blip in the COVID year, they have had just relentless shit happen to them, and like you know they're expecting to get fucked. Do you know what I mean? Where years ago they would have been lording it over us and going, we can get there, blah blah blah. They start to shit themselves because they fucking know what's coming.
Yeah, that was my point, Marty, about the two players celebrating. They've not won a thing yet. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So,
But you can imagine when Tab missed that penalty, they immediately went, the worst thing possible that could happen to us is about to fucking happen.
But there was a strange wee video somebody posted. It was on YouTube. It's fucking weird. It was a girl or a fella was in that fucking Edmiston house, like videoing the match inside their fucking, where they have like a bar
like
beside
a
the
fan
stadium.
zone type thing. Aye.
Did any of you see it?
I didn't see this video, no.
Right. Well, first of all, the fucking place was empty. Right now, there was about maybe 30 people in the place, and it holds hundreds. So if that was a fucking Celtic match and we had that facility outside our fucking stadium, that place would have been bunged to the fucking rafters, right? Now think about it. We had the whole broom loan, so there was 7,000 Huns who didn't get into the fucking match, but they didn't go to the stadium. That they weren't in that fucking place, right? And the second fucking strange thing was see when the penalties started, Ibrox started the fucking empty. There was loads and loads of people walking out because they fucking knew what was coming. And that's my point. They have that mentality. They know they're going to get fucked. You know, the wheels are going to come off them. And the more you can feed that psychosis, the better it is. The better it is.
It sounds tasty the way you describe it, Marty. It does. It sounds a succulent Schadenfreude.
As I said, they've still got a league to lose.
Fingers crossed.
Well, anyway,
I mean, you also look. Sorry, Joe. You also look at the. I mean, look at the players we had missing. Right? We didn't have a shot on target in 2 hours.
Liam, I texted the mate my hunt mate that morning, and I said to him, I listed, it was 8 players that I listed out, all first team players, and then I put the team sheet up, and I says, if you don't beat us today, get on to the fucking Ayatollah in Iran and tell him to bomb Ibrox, send him the coordinates, because that team is fucking desperate. Like, you know what I mean? So again, it goes to show you that the manager can get players to play above themselves, or the coaches too can get players to play above themselves, and the string it out as long as they need to, really.
Yeah, it was.
What about the after game festivities? What's your view on that?
I was just going to bring that up. Marty, you said crestfallen earlier on. I would say fucking raging is what they
some
were.
Some of them were raging. That's my point. That was like I said, that took the heat. Because the next day nobody was talking about the match. Do you know what I mean? So that took the fucking heat off them. You know, and they were trying to basically dampen our celebrations, but we didn't give a fuck. We were going, well, fuck you, you know, that sort of thing. If you listen to any of our podcasts and stuff, we were all talking about the game. If you listen to their podcasts, you know, they were talking about what happened afterwards, and then they were admitting that they were shit. You know what I mean? Like the Heart and Ham and all, they were all on. And some of the ones I listened to were actually quite scathing of their own fans, saying, you know, this is out of order. This is fucking, you know, this happens to us all the time. We make excuses for it, and it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? But the bottom line was, there was one set of fans celebrating, and there was one set of fans coming on to fucking cause trouble.
So one
And
set of
again,
fans across the halfway line. At the end of the day.
again to go back to Higgins's point, they started it when that handball goal. They flooded onto the pitch on their side, and we were celebrating at the end of a wonderful penalty kick thing. You know what I mean? Where young people come on and rushed about and hugged players, got selfies, fucking wee girls, wee lads. Do you know what I mean? So there was nobody running on with balaclavas on trying to attack anybody. There was none of that shit. You know, and then they came on from the fucking the that sort of the
Copeland
left
Road,
hand side, the
up the road side.
Copeland Road stand, and tried to attack our fans around the corner flag direction. Well, they had the Fenian whipper waiting on them.
I seen him,
Fucking
the Indiana Jones.
Ah, fucking hell! That brings a whole new fucking meaning to the leather belts. Fucking hell! Holy fuck!
Out there like Yellowstone, he was.
Fuck here! I'll learn them not to do that again. That's the bottom line. So do you know what I mean? There was only one set of fans who were in there trying to cause trouble, and it was the Huns. It was the Rangers
See
fans.
this trying to
Fucking
equate
shallow.
they're both as bad as each other. Fucking hell, give me a
No,
break.
listen. And here, the funny bit was, I seen a clip from the Scottish News, and I showed you all the fucking seats that had been damaged.
Aye, it was a
And
Copeland roadside.
aye,
Aye, it was their end.
what the fuck?
Aye, it was their end.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, what? Like, they're at the fucking stadium. Do you know what I mean? So, what are we going to end up paying for them fucking seats too? You know what I mean? So, and like the numbers of Celtic fans on the pitch was quite small. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't thousands. Like the lower end of the Broom Room didn't empty at
Aye,
all.
it was about
just like
100 or something like that if you're
I'd
lucky.
say so, Jason. And some of
Aye.
them would have been pushed onto the pitch. You know, people trying to get in, and you end up getting fucking shoved on yourself. You might not want to go, but you end up getting carried in by maybe a crowd of young ones. Fuck, we've all been there. It's happened to me in places and games, whatever else, you know, before. And like there was
Yep.
no malice or violence or whatever, and
Aye.
there was people fucking lifting streamers and stuff, and it looked great. Fuck, if I had been in amongst there myself, I'd have been loving life. You know, it was
Where
the
were you,
last minute.
Liam? Were you up the top?
Yeah, it was at the top, mate. So
Aye. So I was
You
at
had a
the
good view.
bottom, but I was at the four rows for the back of the bottom. So I mean, you'd the perfect view of it all, and you were just seeing them all coming on. You're like, what the fuck? And the thing was, see if they'd kept running, because they did stop like about the halfway. There was only about 5 goals. See, the thing is, right, see outside the ground, there was hundreds of police at the Celtic end. Hundreds, right?
Yep.
See, at the end of that game, all you needed was 50 police in front of the Broomland Road and 50 police in front of the Copeland Road, and none of
That's
it.
100%.
And here,
100%.
I listened to your woman, the cops press conference. What a fucking moron! A moron. Did you listen to her?
Yeah, my bits
Emma,
of it.
somebody
Yeah.
was it or something? And I would laugh at her. I go, "What are you talking about? Oh, well, you can't expect me to stop crime in the whole area. These fuckers get overtime for coming to that match, and you know rightly that there's 7,000 Celtic fans coming, and this fixture had 7,000 Celtic fans at it for 40 fucking years. What are you talking about? Like in the mid 80s, we used to get the entire fucking, you know, we'd have been right up to the fucking enclosure and right up halfway along the sandy fucking Jordan stand.
Well,
So
the first ever time I went, I was never at a game with the old Ibrox. So my first ever derby was at the kind of new Ibrox. It would have been about, what year would it? It'd have been about 83.
84 or 83, I'd say that.
I'd say about 83, right? And we get a third of the main stand, the west enclosure, the Broomland Road, and about a quarter of the Govan stand, top and bottom.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that was in 1983. Like violence at the football was a thing then. It's not really now. You know what I mean? Now it's families and women and fucking whatever else and days out and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? So it should have been fucking eminently easy to police. Like it's a joke. And she just made a cunt out of her, a fucking complete cunt out of herself. And somebody come on the radio and says they heard her bleating the other day, and he was actually a Rangers fan, and he said, between us and Celtic, we give Police Scotland 3.1 million a year, and they're on there saying that they haven't got the resources. He says the club should be docking their fucking money that they're sending to him. And I was going, that's actually a fucking cracking point. So all the overtime that Dan Peelers is getting, as you said, Jason, mob fucking handed, are being paid for by us. And also, too, they were funneling Celtic fans down in the streets where they knew that there was Rangers fans. And that's how those guys from Dundee, that guy was nearly killed. And again, if you read what the Dundee Heart guys were saying, this is the police sent us down that fucking street.
Well,
So how do they justify it?
See in our bus getting in, right, we took all these back roads as well through Cardonald and things like that. And I hadn't even been in these streets before, right? But our bus driver must have took a wrong turn because we end up coming down Helen Street. So we get by that wee Rangers club, and see when we gets to Govan Road, or the road that goes at Brumlin Road, you couldn't turn left. So we had to basically go round the roundabout, cross over the motorway, and go back round all these back streets to get to the other side so that we could drive up. We went down Govan Road, and then, to be fair, they did say you had to approach the Govan Road, but we didn't. So we had to go the way round and then park. So we were there quite early, but so we've got outside, and I'm talking to a mate, and Ellie's walked on with one of my pals. So she gets through quite quick, and she's in the stadium. I didn't get in the stadium for about another 3/4 of an hour after her.
Yeah,
you know, just with the police, the way they were cordoning it off and everything, it was shocking. But as I said, when you get through and you were saying to the police, "What's going on there?" They were like, "Look, mate, I'm sorry, we don't know." And look, we've just been told to do this.
Was there ticket checks?
But
at the cordon?
Next to nothing, mate.
Yeah.
No, nobody with a scanner or anything like that. You could have had a ticket for fucking 1980 and they would just let you walk past. Do you know what I mean? Nothing really.
It just sounds like a complete fucking shambles.
It
like
was.
A total shambles.
Yeah,
and your woman was up, and again, that cop was up like playing on their houses. Then, what the fuck are you talking about? You're there for crowd fucking safety. You're lucky there's not deaths here today.
See, if you go back to Jason's point, right? This is a cup game, right? So when it goes to penalties, you know there is going to be an outcome in the next 5 minutes of that game.
Exactly.
Right?
So you flood 50 people along the front of the thing.
You don't even need to front off the home end. If you think about it, you know, if you just cover the away end, then you're either stopping them coming on or you're protecting them if any of the home fans come on. And you know there's going to be a sudden death winner in the next 5 minutes. So you know it's going to be like fucking elation in one place and fucking desolation in the other side. You know what I mean? So it's not, you can control that. It couldn't have been any easier for you to know what was coming up there. Like you said, just cover that whole end and just block that off. Do you know what I mean? But not give people a view of the penalties and whatever. But just block it off. And it took ages for the coppers to come on in any sort of numbers. Like ages.
It's actually as if they wanted it to happen.
Well,
you know what I mean, to justify their budgets. You know, I've always got a wee bit about things like that where the police are actually quite secretly happy that happens so that they can justify bigger budgets the following year, etc.
Yeah, because she actually said, you know, we want to get to a place where police aren't required at football. Now, we've had this conversation here hundreds of times. I've told that story so many times where we played Inverness or Ross County and there was more police outside the stadium than there was away fans. Mm-hmm. You know, so
and
if they can justify for
they showed you like they showed you an angle. The fucking thing must have the camera must have been on the club deck or round about that area, and it was shooting down along the front of their stand to the side of the Broomloan stand, and there was a fucking line of Huns trying to get at our fans, and there was like 10 police horses literally hiding. And you're going, where the fuck was them? All you had to do is run them horses on, everybody running off, and then you could have took the horses off. They were all just standing beside at the stand. And like you saw them was coming on. They had to run 70 yards, and you saw them sparking the flares halfway up the pitch. So like there's no equivalence there at all. None.
No. And by the way, see the rocket that launched the rocket? He didn't even have a mask on. You can see him as plain as day. He just had a hooded jacket on with no.
I don't think there's been any arrests either. Jason, has there been no? Like if I had been us, there'd have been doors booted in that night.
Oh well, that lad that launched the flare into the Celtic supporter, he's going to be looking at jail time.
But he hasn't even been arrested. I haven't heard of any arrests or
I think there were 9 or something. She said, that woman, didn't she? She said there was something like 9 on the day, but that would have just been
So
on the periphery.
9 of them. One of them was the guy who attacked the Celtic coach. So you're down to 8.
Aye. I mean, what's you think about? Unbelievable. You see, and I mean, I don't know if it's true, but seemingly his wife's a serving police officer was serving at the game.
There was a lot of information about that guy online. I don't want to say his name, but there's a lot of information about that guy online that makes you go more and more down the route of what the fuck are you thinking?
But it was strange because I saw the comments on the post, you know, from the football club that he coaches at, and it was very interesting. Like, there was all these fucking coaches. Oh no, he's a stand-up guy. He's great. Don't worry about it. And then one fucking parent, mom, my fucking son won't be back. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And then next thing they put a fucking thing up the next night saying he'd been relieved of his duties. But there was no there was no like widespread outrage at the fat cunt.
I mean, what's going through your head today? That
I know, but they do it all the time,
Unbelievable.
Jason. They do it all the time, and like I was glad to see the list that was published last week of all the times that the fucking dickheads have invaded the pitch and tried to start rats. Always them.
and the common denominator is they've lost like a last minute winner or they've beaten a close game. You know,
Aye,
it's
or
never
they
when
could-
they've won. Apart from
Well, that's not quite true,
Barcelona,
because-
Barcelona.
well, it's not quite. Well, there you are. That's when they fucking won. They didn't need a
Aye.
beat. And if you remember the 69, I've seen the footage of the 69 cup final, and they did the fucking same. They tried to get the match abandoned because Celtic were horsing them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? It's always them. In fact, they actually sing a fucking song called Wolverhampton Town. Is that not about them starting a riot at Wolverhampton?
Oh, they did it there. They did Villa, Spurs.
Birmingham,
Three games. They've wrecked the place.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Aye.
always them.
Mental.
And they did it when Hibs as well, when Hibs won the cup.
Hibs, the Scottish
Like, I
Cup,
was
aye.
saying it to a hun mate, and in fairness to him, he was saying the same thing. And I said, you lose the match, you go fucking home. Get the fuck out. But you don't want you there when we're fucking celebrating. It's like fucking snow of a ditch. Get out the fuck. But they seem to have to fucking be the hardest cunt in the room. They're all watery fucking dickheads. I mean, the hunting packs. If you were to have a fucking start like the Fenian Whipper, they weren't too long running away and giving it the whole fucking community, you cunty bit. You know what I mean? They're fucking yellow bastards. They are.
What?
They're just yellow cunts.
It was comical watching it. See,
That was a fucking.
I know, but
ridiculous, Jason.
we can all be honest here. Winning the game was brilliant, right? As kind of unexpected and amazing as it was. The rage afterwards was just delicious for best part of a week, easily. It was just delicious. The rage and the absolute hurt that inflicted on them. It was the Celtic Exchange, and that's the first time we won a penalty shootout against them at Ibrox.
No, was it not?
No.
No. Well, it might have been that, but it was also like the first time we'd won a quarter final against them since the 50s or something.
I can't even mind us ever having a penalty shootout at Ibrox, to be honest.
No,
with you.
I can't either. No.
Somebody said we had a penalty shootout, but it wasn't against them. It would have been in the
It
league,
was
possibly.
Aye, well, obviously, Rafe Rovers.
For fuck's sake.
Rafe Rovers.
Who wants to remember that?
Aye.
God, hell.
So do you reckon that the next home game, the Union Bears will all be in as normal?
Oh,
Well,
I'm sure
100%,
their owner was standing with them all yesterday at fucking.
How on earth can that be the case?
Well, but the thing is, that's no Celtic gave Rangers the tickets. It's up to them how they distribute.
No, I
it.
don't mean that. Sorry, I
No,
mean just their next game. I think it's Aberdeen or whatever they've got.
All right, their home game. Do you think?
Yeah,
Simply,
sorry.
simply the best. Back fucking under the carpet.
He was starting. Your man Kavanagh was starting with them before the match yesterday in the ground. So there's clearly fuck all happening there because he was in amongst them. So he was
No.
fucking starting with them.
Well, we've got our whole 250 or whatever group or section banned for some minor altercation that's not proven. Been banned for 30 games. Fucking, we've had all the trouble with lateral movement back in the day. They've not even got a standing section. They stand up every single game.
We had a fucking law implemented to try and shut us down.
Jesus
By the way, it's not just them. Their full ground, apart from the main stand, stands up.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom tier anyway.
But you know why, Jason? Because you can't see the fucking pitch. That's why they stand up. Their fucking ground's terrible. You cannot see the pitch. And like I remember, there was one of them bloggers was in the main stand, and she was standing in the bottom tier at the back row. And if the ball gets kicked up in the air, you can't see where it's landing. You can't see the ball in the air. It's just a Jerry Built stadium. And then the other thing is too, where I was just explaining, if you're looking at the broom loan, into the right hand side, there's seats that run along the side of the broom loan. So there's actually fucking seats that they sell. You can't see the goal. So if a goal goes into the broom loan, you can't fucking see it. You have to watch TV. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's no wonder they're all standing up. You can't fucking see. And if you're standing if you're at the back of the club deck, you can't see the touchline. Unless you stand up. The shit house.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, Seabay would have actually just took the chance and just charged fully into the broom line, which
I would have been laughed.
But the point is, I mean, where was the police? I mean, where was the backup even?
Well, that was my point, Liam. See when they ran at the start, there was lucky if there was 5 poles on that park.
Yeah.
See if they'd kept running, that could have got right nasty.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if they'd kept running and the 100 odd of them or the 150 of them or whatever had got to the Celtic support, then it would have been carnage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And thankfully they didn't, because because it could have. And you know yourself, when you're in away support, right, you've got that like kind of siege mentality and whatever, and like you've got Mayor. I don't know. There probably wasn't that many kids, and there was a few kids in the Celtic end, but no that many. Whereas at home support, there's loads of kids, you know, because it's their season tickets, etc.
Yeah.
So it could have got right nasty if they kept running, and there was nothing stopping them, you know, if they came on intent and doing it. But thankfully they didn't, and then it just kind of petered out. But
I think at some point when they got towards the 18-yard line, they were like, right, well, who's the first one over the breach? Right.
The one they did about the wee guy that did the karate kick, that was a belter. See the wee guy. I mean, the guy that he hit, obviously, the guy was slitting anyway, so he didn't really hurt him or whatever.
It looked cool though.
You've got to take your hat off to the wee fucking idiot. It just portrayed motion the way he did it. Do you know what I mean? Then he just buggered off. But that was quite funny.
He'll down on that for a while. Good for a bit.
Well, he'll dine out in the quiet for it, because if they find out who he is. But I couldn't believe the guy launching I've seen it for the main stand, the guy launching the flare, and he's just got a hooded jacket on with no mask on or anything, and he just launched that flare. I mean, that hits a kid in the Celtic end.
You're doing a long stretch.
They actually used a narrative on one of the podcasts that they were launching flares at each other. No, they weren't. The guy that fucking obviously launched it back on the park, it's fucking landed at him and he's got rid of it as quick as he could. You know, but fucking, it was, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, nothing really much happened. Nobody really get injured or that, you know, thankfully. So it was all much ado about nothing, but it looked mental where it wasn't really mental. It was just folk running about, basically, not really doing much.
It was mass handbags at the end of the day.
Aye, definitely. There was sporadic.
There was that second watching on TV. I was like, oh fuck, this is going to get really well.
Aye, exactly. Yeah.
But then you kind of see when you see the front line kind of looking back, going, "Who's with me?" You go, "All right, well, the battle is battle."
Aye, it was fucking just stupid, you know. And like them using the narrative that the Rangers fans were just going protecting their stadium. What the fuck?
What? Keep off the grass. Fuck's sake.
Aye.
Right here, snapping across this fucking.
The narrative coming out that their stadium wouldn't be ready for the Aberdeen game because we'd wrecked it that much. I'm like, come on.
Full of balls.
I mean, I know for a fact when they played Motherwell at Fir Park the last time, I think the bill was £4,000 to pay Motherwell because
Well,
they just trashed their away stand.
When have you not known bigots, fascist, racist, fucking violent dickheads to not cry victim as soon as it's fucking, you know, possible, as soon as possible accountability may land?
No.
I'm away to get another beer. Back them up.
Yes, you go for it, Marty.
I think we can say a bit of farewell to the Broomline.
But you know what? One of the best things, some of the best content came from the Rangers end. In fairness, that tunnel content with Julio Araujo grabbing his balls and just fucking flicking his tongue at them, going fucking yeah, a big man Jara with a fucking fist. Oh, that is like fucking.
That was a guy. It was the Rangers fan shouting, "You want to sort your fans out?" As he's pointing out. Yeah, there's fucking 200 Spider-Men running at the
It's one of them videos, Jason. See if you watch it a few times, you see different shit each time.
Right.
I mean, it's fucking chaos.
That's the thing.
Big Araujo has them on fucking toast. I love it.
Oh, they hate him. They hate him. I really want us to sign him. I like him.
He see to them, he's like a nuclear Catholic. He's fucking loves us. He plays the Celtic, loves the Celtic, hates the Huns. He's fucking. He's got a Mexican background. He's probably been in the gang culture. He's probably got fucking Jesus tattooed 6 times on his body and fucking blesses himself every time he fucking goes anywhere. And he's just. I think he understands how much they hate us. I think that kind of fuels him a bit.
Oh, excuse me, but Mary, the point, he's a decent player.
He is a good player. Which is probably the reason why we won't fucking spend any money on him.
I mean, you know, what's he done to annoy them so much? I mean, he squared up to a couple of players at the end of the last game, and he just stands up for himself.
I think he's just got a bit about him. See jump into the crowd, jump into the crowd and celebrate with the fans. He's came about an icon for the Celtic support. You know, at times like this when we haven't really got many icons in our team to fucking Lord, he's the guy that's kind of stepped up to the plate, and he's like.
He's got incredible character. He's got great character.
Aye,
swinging from the crossbar. Brilliant, man. You know what I mean? Brilliant. And the fact that everybody else ran one way, he turned around and ran the other way towards the fans.
He just loves it, doesn't he? That's the kind of story that probably he'd never heard the Celtic before he came. Well, obviously he'd heard these, but he probably didn't know anything about us before he came. And once he's got up here, he's just like, fucking hell, this is happening in the lottery here. You know, just one of these guys that kind of gets it. So, fingers crossed we sign him.
Where was he? It was Bournemouth, yeah?
Bournemouth,
yeah.
Cool.
That's like going from the cemetery to fucking Las Vegas, let's be honest.
But you wonder how much money you'll be earning with him. I wouldn't think it'd be a major amount. He's obviously came to the MLS, right? So he's went to Bournemouth. What would he be getting? 25 grand a week or something like that?
Maybe more than that. I don't know.
I'd imagine Premier.
I don't think Bournemouth would pay amazing money, would they?
Isn't that really necessarily a kind of a baseline for the Premier League? No wages, no.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll Google it. I know it's
I would think teams like Brighton and Bournemouth and stuff like that will still be definitely the lower end of. I wouldn't think he'd be on like 50 grand or anything like that. And plus, he's only played like 3 first-team games.
It says between 20 and 30 grand on this article.
There you go. 25, as I said. I would think it'd be about that. But you wouldn't think we would give him 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But wait.
You might even get him for another season on loan again, you know, while Johnson's recovering, getting himself back to fitness.
I always wonder that, right? What's in it for the team that he's with? Because obviously it means we'd be paying his wages, right? So if they're not going to play him, fair enough. But as an asset, is he maybe going down in value because he's not got long left in his contract then, etc.? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's signed. I don't know how long his contract is, but I suppose, you know, for him, he's getting some limelight. He's playing regularly. I mean, playing every week. You know, he's getting a bit of attention there. So
he's obviously got more chance of them selling him now since he's playing with us than he would have been playing with them. Somebody's mentioned on the chat, have we got an option to buy? I don't think we have, but seemingly they're talking about it.
No, we don't. We don't have an option to buy.
No,
but here, listen.
But at the end of the day, you can always buy them. You know, it's not in the deal I've got with him. But if you go to Bournemouth and say we want to buy this guy, how much did they sign him for, Liam?
I think it was 8.5 million.
Was it?
I think just check.
But they're not using them, so I mean, you're taking the wage off, and they mustn't want them. You know what I mean? So you're just going to make a deal. But the thing is you do it fucking early. You don't do what we did with Ada and fucking.
Okay, no.
Do you know what I mean? You're leaving it at the last minute, and then they sweat you. He goes and say, "Look, there's our deal, and he wants to come. You save the wages. It's a yes or no."
And the
And
thing
then
is,
we're moving on.
he's one of these guys. If you do buy him, you could sell him for a right few quid.
Oh,
You know,
well, I hear he looks
he's a guy you would make money off.
He looks the business. I have to say, he's been very good. He's a decent, very decent player. Eye for a goal. Hasn't, he's only been here 6 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's not here that long.
Good age.
He's young and
What age is he, Liam?
20. He's 24.
is he going to the
aye.
World Cup?
Perfect.
Is he going to the
Yeah.
World Cup with Mexico? I'm assuming he is. And that could have been a reason why he wanted
He's
to
made
go.
16 appearances, so I would imagine he's in the mix.
16.
Aye.
You say 16 there?
16. Aye, for Mexico, aye.
Yeah, he
Mexico's
signed
a fucking decent team, so he didn't get in the Mexico squad. Is good going.
signed a 5-year deal for Bournemouth in 24, so he's got another 3 years at the end of this season.
Right.
Yeah, so look, anyway, you as Liam says there, you could extend the loan for another season if he wasn't really in their plans. He's young, whatever else. So
Aye.
all bets may be off. But the point is, he's here at the minute, and he's fucking
Oh, it's lovely
horsing
life,
about
isn't
like
it?
a fucking head
Just
case.
see a photograph of his brother visiting Celtic Park. Brothers have the exact same haircut, which is fucking a bit strange.
He was there Saturday, wasn't he? He was at the game Saturday.
So that was the game, aye.
So somebody asked his brother, "Is there any chance of him staying?" He says, "Every fucking chance." So that's good. Get the brother in.
You.
The brother on the go. So where were we? Have I finished the Huns match?
We covered all that. So it was back to league business against Motherwell. And Marty, I suppose it's down to you to tell us how your day went, because you went with the Crack Factory.
Oh, fuck. I had the wee man over on Saturday. It was his birthday last week, so we'd asked to go to a match. So we hastily fucking got a trip organised, and the good people of the Ballymena Shamrock did the business as usual. And then Jason sorted us out with a couple of briefs to come in with all the lads. So we had just a fucking great day. We Jared Whittaker, my wee mate from the Fallons, was with us. I texted him during the week, told him to come over. Most people in Belfast will know this, but Jared's wife Shauna, Jared and Shauna are two Celtic fucking diehards and would have been seen at every game. Shauna died of a brain tumour a couple of years back, and it's just devastated Jared. And Shauna would have been really, really well known, bright, bubbly, a wee blonde, good crack, great fun. And she's been sorely, sorely missed. So, Jared feels it when he goes to the games now. It was his fucking, that was his right arm, really. So it was good to get him out and get him back to the game. It's the first game he's went to all year. So he was babysitting the wee man with me and, spoiling him, ratting him, whatever else. So I just want to give Jared a mention. The night. And then his uncle fucking Jason and his uncle Liam and his uncle Mick were all fucking, he came home with a fortune in his pocket. All well looked after, spoiled rotten. He lifted and laid the whole time he was there, so he had a great time for his birthday. He can't fucking complain. He'll always remember when he turned 10, so he will, and he had great fun all day. Oh, he was loving it.
Just as well, we need to add as well, obviously I got a wee text the other night and says, Martin Flynn is now known as the quickest man in Emirates history, never mind the fucking cyclists.
So, listen, hold on. Let me explain. This is your fault, right?
Fucking Errol Flynn.
I fucking told you I had to get out of the fucking stadium quick to get back to the bus park. But Higgins dragged me back into the fucking lounge. And I was literally leaving the lounge, and a pint of Guinness come flying across at me, and I just grabbed it and was drinking it as I was running out the fucking door. So it's so tight to get away, to get the. So what happens is the cops stop the traffic to let the buses out, and it's like military precision. So there's no joke. We were charging down into the fucking Emirates car park as the bus was literally pulling away, and I lifted the child by the fucking scruff, just lifted him up by the neck, fucked him onto the bus, and then dived on behind him. And Gilmore's giving me fucking dogs. He was, you fucking look at you forest cump, you fat cunt. Fucking, you don't even know where the car park is, fuck's sake. And I said, fucking Jason Higgins, it's his fault. Blame him. Blame fucking him.
Fucking
So in the
nobody
fucking
likes the grass. Come on.
So in the meantime, Gilmore's fucking texting Higgins, saying this fat cunt running down the car park running to the fucking stadium. And he's pissing himself laughing because he knew what happened. For fuck's sake. Fucking hell. But it was a great day, and then
Great memories.
when we were going home on the fucking boat, they had the Kilmarnock match on, so there was like 3,000 Celtic fans on the boat all watching the matches. It was great.
Brilliant.
So we thought it was fucking smashing. The whole boat erupted whenever the full-time whistle went at Kelly, you know, so it was just a fucking brilliant day.
And then the Apache fucking won.
And then some of the boys were able to get a phone signal, so they must have been using that fucking maritime fucking thing. It cost a fortune. So we were all huddled around the phone watching Anthony Kakachi win another world title and bring it back to West Belfast. So even I haven't even talked about the match.
I remember that years ago, Marty. We were going to Donegal and I didn't know, and I'm fucking using my phone on the boat. I got to Donegal and I got a bill for 200 quid.
It's the first. I know. See, for the season, fucking traveller, the first thing you do when you get on the boat is turn off your fucking data, because sometimes it attaches automatically, and you're getting fucking charged for shit that's running on your phone. It's a nightmare. So it is. And it's like it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and 45 minutes on the boat. It's not a long fucking time. Do you know what I mean? So you don't mind, not using your phone. But fucking hell, I don't know what that fella paid the other night. But you get a fucking bet. He had like a IPTV on his phone, so he was jumping up and down the channels every time it off, and also fuck knows what the fuck bill he got. But he was very accommodating. He let everybody sort of crowd around him and watch it,
So into the game, I tell you one thing, delighted with that. Absolutely delighted.
And like we were talking before the match, and we were saying, like, when would we ever be on a sweat for a Motherwell game, So it just goes to show you the impact that they've made this year, in terms of football, and it was actually a really good match, and there was loads of people saying that, and even if you were a neutral, it was a really interesting game, and it was, definitely was.
And see, to be fair, I mean, obviously their goal was a mistake for Hatate, trying to play the ball out, but what a finish it was for the boy. And when they went 1-0 up, I think we'd already hit the post by then. That one that hit the post, how did that not go in? The one that ran across the line. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life before.
It literally it spun almost over the line and then back, kind of bananaed a wee bit back the other side of the line. It was insane.
Unbelievable.
But it was at first, it was a save by the keeper.
Aye. But you're saying to yourself, they've went 1-0 up, and you can't really say they didn't deserve it, because they were knocking the ball about brilliant. I thought we were playing well as well. It was kind of even match game, but they had that wee bit about them, and then they went 1-0 up, and thank God that Yang get equaliser quite quick. It was now about 6 minutes after they scored. We made it one each, and getting in at half time, you're like, this is in the balance, but at least you were back in it, which if you'd been in 1-0 down, you'd have been absolutely shiting yourself. And then obviously they get the penalty and they get the man sent off, and Big Spinchara stuck it away, and then Yang get the third. But it was a hard game. They're a good side, and obviously
they're a great team to watch, Jason. They move the ball really, really well.
How good's that Elijah just?
Me and Jason were talking about it at the game. We're saying just how they were zipping the ball about along the back lane.
Also
triangles
short,
everywhere.
In tight spaces too.
Triangles everywhere. They were just bopping the ball about, and there was that period, sort of 20 minutes in, we were struggling to contain them, because it just like Konecki, I don't know what the fuck, like that wee lad has so much ability, and you're just looking at him going, what the fuck are you doing? It's like,
I know.
His decision making sometimes would drag you up the fucking wall, and he has good ability. He hit the post. That one was right in front of us. It skittered along the fucking Wasn't that Tanaka hit that?
The line,
Just
it was.
get it right along the lane. So my point being is he's a dangerous player when he fancies it, but I don't know whether it's decision making or inexperience or coaching or what. But there's times you just love to fucking strangle him. You know what I mean? You could see him pulling away in the wrong place. You're going, what are you doing? Move. That ball's going to come back across you. You know, so it's almost as if he prefers to play more midfield than on the wing. You know, so it's frustrating. But they were capitalising on that. You know, they were pushing down that side and pushing down the other wing. And when it came the Hatate mistake, like that started with Yang. It was Yang and another player were dueling just in front of the touchline where O'Neill was starting, and then it went back to fucking, I can't remember who it went back to. Then it went back into the box. And you were like, you didn't need to fucking do that. Why are you doing that? You're just putting yourselves under pressure. And by the time Hatate made the balls up, like Sinisalo had given them not a hospital ball, but he had the kind of turn on it, and that's the problem. He because he was concentrating on the ball, he didn't see where the fucking player was coming from behind him. And by the time the tackle was made, he panicked, you know, and just lost it. As you said, Jason,
Sinisalo to send that ball into space. So I felt like
he should have done
because he does that. Like,
but the difference being is Sinisalo could see the Motherwell player. Tate couldn't. So you're making that judgment where you're going, should I pass it to him or should I just blooter it? Now I'm not a fan of the blooter, as you know, because 9.5 times out of 10 it just comes flying straight back at you. And so you can understand why your coach not to do that, but in a position like that, he did it last week against Rangers. If there was any sort of fucking difficulty, he just get rid of it, you know, and got it as far away from himself as possible. And that's really what he should have done.
But see when you look at it again, it's still some finish for the kid.
Oh, it's a cracker.
It wasn't like a fucking sitter.
Is he a Kiwi?
No, and the other thing was too, Jason, the other Motherwell player was between the two of them, and he was on his arse, and he managed to tip it with his toe.
To get the ball out of him.
It was like fair fox to him, you know what I mean? He really did make the effort to do it. So, but no, it was a great finish. It really was.
Hell, youngsters paradise. They've been the statue at Ibrox. They've been man of the match.
No, I said to you just before he fucking scored, he's like an octopus with a football, and you were like, "Ah, you are smart arse. Look at you now. You look fucking dead in your fucking face there."
And by the way, see his finish for the first. That was tough. How many times you see if that's a tattoo, that's over the bar.
That's me Ada. That's at Dublin Airport. That's me Ada.
Fuck yeah. Dublin Airport. Fucking unbelievable. But do you know the amount of times you see they missed? You know, it's a bit of an art to be able to keep that on target. You know, and you've done it well.
We actually we missed that out, didn't we, in the Rangers thing? Imagine getting the piss ripped out of you for days by Dublin Airport, man, after a game.
They're still at it, aren't they?
No, I seen somebody come in, it was like, what day is the day? It was like Thursday, and somebody was coming in and saying, are these dickheads still arguing with an airport? But it's good to know there's good, there must be a right good Tim in charge of the fucking Dublin Airport social media. God bless him. God bless him.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it on Saturday. I really did. It's great seeing Marty and the boy. You know, it's 2 years been over recently. It's great seeing the young team coming through, and I was really nervous for the game. And it's been a long time since I've felt like that. Even the derby games, I was genuinely nervous, but in a kind of good way, because I love watching Motherwell, and I thought they were tremendous, particularly in the first half on Saturday. I love watching teams like that ping the ball about. It just didn't really have a cutting edge up front, I didn't think, but the confidence of them and the way they were whipping the ball around was brilliant, and I was really wound up for the game. I just thought we didn't. I thought we didn't press properly in the first half. We were half pressing. You know, like 2 players would go and the others would leave it, and I think it made it quite easy for them to knock the ball around us. So we were kind of a bit out of kilter, but. You know, we should have been in front, like you said. Oxlade-Chamberlain really unlucky with that one. Negrin had a really good chance to score and just took an extra touch. I know he got a bit of criticism for that, but he scored
Negrin
a few
and Maida both had good chances.
Yeah. Negrin scored a couple of times by kind of doing that sidestep or just turning the other way. You know, so you got to take that if it doesn't work out for him sometimes. And their goal, the boy just, I've been saying for a while, he just reminds me of Matt O'Reilly, just that kind of left foot, that kind of silkiness about him. I think he's a really good player. And it was a massive goal, Young scoring that, like you said, because I think he would have gone in 1-0. It would have, the nerves would have started and the pressure would have been on. So I thought it was a really big goal. And then second half, thought we were tremendous. I mean, you know, without putting a damper on it, but this is a rhetorical question, but how is John Beaton not giving that penalty from less than 10 yards away?
He's looking right at it. He's looking right at it. If you watch the video, he's looking right at it.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it until they showed me the reverse angle, whereby like you could see he had pulled Maeda away from the ball, which John Beaton can see.
It's incredible, and I know we all moan about VAR, and quite rightly as well, right? And we are deemed to be the cheating beneficiaries of VAR. Well, no, that's not the case at all, right?
It's been a godsend for us in situations
100%,
like that.
These are all the decisions we didn't get down the years and we wouldn't have been getting, right? So, and it's actually reflects really bad the amount of ones we do get, because like, why are they not getting given in real time?
Right.
That's exactly it. 100%. That one there was shocking. The other one too was later on in the match. I can't remember who it was, but the Motherwell player tripped out.
Vanchara got tripped over.
Vanchara. Me and Higgins had a perfect view of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck's that not a penalty? What the fuck?
And they were actually showing the one that Balak Wisher get pushed, but it didn't even. It was Austin Trusty. Was it
Arthur?
Was it Benjamin Arthur that kind of just pushed him? But he didn't really push him.
I'm literally watching it right now.
But he dived up the way, and it was impossible to dive. You know, it was a total dive, and they were looking at. But I've heard folk mentioning as well, Oxley Chamberlain should have been sent off in the first 7 minutes. I can't even remember that challenge.
He had that challenge, right? Now, I watched it. Here's the thing. It's one of them ones. There was maybe 3 feet, 3 different players going for this one ball, and he went in for it, same as everybody else, and caught your man on the ankle. They didn't show a closer angle of it, but it was enough to get a yellow at least. But then again, after that, John Beaton wasn't flashing yellows for, I don't know, a good way until the second half, I think.
Well, we get a load. We get Donovan, Ralston, Chamberlain, and Hatate.
I thought Donovan played really well. I thought Donovan was excellent.
I like him. He's raw, but there's something about him. He's got a good engine as well.
It's that will to win. He has it in him. It's one of those things.
I thought Benjamin Arthur was all right as well.
Yeah. I thought he is. I think he's brilliant. You know? I think he's really good. I thought it was fucking Trusty. I forgot.
Trusty, he's still bad. That's his final game.
Higgins turned to me and said, "That's not Trusty." And I went, "Fuck, that's right. It's your man Arthur." So it's I think he's done great. I'd be really keen on keeping him if there was a chance as well. So what? And then what was the other one? There was another incident coming out of my head there. What the fuck was it? It'll come back to me. Go ahead, you talk amongst yourselves.
But I just think as well, and like you're looking at the goal difference, right? And I'll be honest with you, this is about the first time this season. Well, apart from the start of the season when Rodgers was there, I thought we'd have won the league. But seeing the past few months, this is like the first time that I properly believe that we can do it now.
Yeah.
But because that Motherwell game was draining me, I was really, really worried about it. I fancied them to beat us.
Same. And
I thought Celtic were, without being amazing, the first half I'd say Motherwell edged it, but I'd say that second half probably that's as good as we've played this season.
Yeah.
And that then gives me confidence that hopefully we could be hitting form at the right time, and we're only playing, I think we've only got maybe one midweek game left in the season.
Yeah.
So it's one game a week now, and obviously we get an international break coming up as well, albeit a load of the players will be playing in international duty. But you would think to yourself, surely we're going to, and there's every chance we're going to get a couple of players back. You're talking about Alistair Johnson coming back, hopefully Callum Osmond.
Even if you only got those two back, it would make a big difference.
Osmond would be huge.
Energy, and you know what I mean. It's just
Because listen, you've got to reflect on these 5 games and say this is as good as a sequence of results as we've had under the circumstances.
It's staggering.
Yes,
It
right.
is absolutely staggering.
Yes, but there's 2 sides of my brain right now. One side is what you're talking about, Jason, is like it's the first time that I felt like there's a possibility that this is all going in the right direction and we can win this. There's the other side of my brain that's going, we are but a bee's dick away from going over a cliff here.
Yeah, and that's the pressure that they've been under, Joe, in these games, and we're still going.
And I feel like we're on the happier end of the seesaw right now, and that's great. But the fucking stress of having to fucking think about it is down my fucking head in.
But here's the thing, Joe. We had them 4 away games, and we came through them, and then we had a fucking home game. We had a week off basically, and then we had a home game, and then we have another bit of time here to fucking, recoup with another few days where we don't have to worry about stuff. And as I say, like, there's an international break coming up. You just get whoever you can get back, let them get settled, and get them trained up again and whatever else. It's coming not too bad for us. Do you know what I mean? And we'll have a head of steam. We're doing okay. We're getting goals again. And the team looks like, look at as I say, when I text the Hun mate the state of the fucking Ibrox team, I'm going like, what the fuck? Come on here. You're putting out your best team against this and you can't win. The fuck's wrong with you? So the whole psychological thing's coming into play. Same with Hearts, because they're not used to it. And it's in our hands. It's in our hands too. You know what I mean? Where we just win our games. 1-0 wins the whole way, and that's us. We've done.
Yeah, you look at these 5 games we played. Hearts have played 2 games in that same period that we played 5.
That's not the same. It was a fucking really, really challenging time.
What was it you said, Liam, a couple of weeks ago in the chat, that we've played 20 odd games more than Hearts this season?
Yeah, I think it wasn't. I think they played in the League Cup group thing, so it's probably 3 or 4. I didn't even pick that up, so it's maybe 6. But it's probably still 16 odd, Jason, more that we played.
Oh yeah, some amount.
Yeah, and we played 1 more than Rangers, which will now be at least 2, obviously because of the semi-final. Moving forward, but I mean, we played 4 away games, 1 at home, then we're away, and then at Hampden. So 7 games away from home in 8.
But you have these breaks, Liam, that you didn't have if you were in the Europa.
Yeah.
That will make a big difference.
Yeah,
Even talking tactically, O'Neill or Maloney, whoever the fuck does the tactics, you have time. Here's your player, mark him, blah blah blah. Whereas last week, those 2 weeks ago, you did not have a fucking minute. You were probably doing that on the plane.
Yeah, I said a few weeks ago, see if we can get through the 2 Dundee games with 2 W's. Then we've got 6 league games, F4 at home. We're going to be 2 points off the top.
St Mirren's our only home game left before the split into it, and then we've got 3 at home.
And it's the one before the split. So like I say, if we get through the 2 Dundee games by winning, we're at least, worst case, we're 2 off the top still. We've got 4 out of 6 at home to finish.
Fuck the guy flicked that match on, the Dundee match the other night, and they flicked it off at 90 minutes.
I was just Marty. 2 hours, 80 minutes. I'm like,
by the way, did you see the quality hang? Did you see the ball boy?
No.
Oh, right, watch it again. See when Dundee scored the equaliser. So it's 94 minutes and it's 2-0 done, and they've scored 2 goals, right? The ball boy's celebrating. See the steward, he's launched the ball boy out. He thinks he's a supporter that's ran on the park. The wee ball boy's gone crackers. The steward thought he was a supporter. He's launched him out.
Everybody's on high alert for fucking pitch invaders, isn't it?
Rangers should snap that steward up in the summer.
That is brilliant. Love it.
I tell you what, I know you. I don't think it's Scott doesn't like him or whatever, but see, Big Presley, I've always liked him since he played with us. And I know he's like an off the cuff type character, right? But what a job he's done with that Dundee.
Yeah.
He'd have been most people's favourites to get relegated when he got that job. Nobody would have gave him a chance with him. And
so I hated him until he came to us, and then I seen him in interviews and I seen him play, and I was like, this guy actually seems like the real deal.
Aye, and he never speaks bad about Celtic. See, anytime he gets interviewed, they're always very complimentary.
Who was it I listened to talking about him doing an impression of? Was it Barry Robson? Barry Robson did a podcast and did a few impressions of him going, Robo, Italian leather. I made him sound like a real fucking character of a person. Going like, that's not what I expected of this guy. Apparently he's into like, that stealth wealth labels and fucking big leather shoes and stuff. I was like, I kind of maybe like him more. I was like, this guy doesn't give a fuck. He is who he is. That's it.
That's the one. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm worried about both Dundee games, but that's the one I'm worrying about more because I think they've got a bit about them.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
they're a decent team. I would expect us to be United, touch wood, but you never know. I mean, even under Nancy, we should have destroyed them that night. You know, that first half of that game should have been out of sight. But Dundee United, I don't think they're as good as Dundee. I think Dundee's got a wee bit about them.
Yeah, I agree. Still scarred from that last game there as well. That was one of the worst I've ever been at. 2-0.
We won Donegal.
Yeah, bad.
Oh,
really.
I know.
Be good to put that to bed. Hopefully.
So what did you think, Marty? See, like the atmosphere on Saturday. Obviously, the boys weren't singing, right?
I know.
So I thought the atmosphere in the game was actually pretty good.
I think the football was good. You know, I mean, you had chances in the first half, and then there was an injury. They had an injury, and the whole fucking stadium started singing. You know, and I was like, thank fuck, at least there's something.
But
So
it's
I
like
was singing Martin O'Neill or whatever it was.
Celtic, see with the, I mean, you've obviously not got the Green Brigade because they're banned, but then with the boys, obviously they're a silence, right? And totally understandable. They're totally within their rights doing it, you know, protesting against, obviously with the Green Brigade banned as well. It's just so bad that Celtic are cutting their nose off to spite their face. And if we had that full stadium rocking, you know, what an advantage it gives you.
But it's fuck now because Celtic are saying it's out of their hands. So,
that's a load of shit.
I know, but
absolute load of shit.
But that's it. That's it done because the cops aren't going to let them back. So if we're relying on the cops to let the Green Brigade back in, that's it done. Do you know what I mean? So I'll leave all that for Scott to talk about the next time he's on and the collective and stuff.
But the thing is, you mentioned it earlier, how can we be at the behest of the cops when they union bears they get a free rein in their stadium after what they done fucking national TV?
Because apparently they can't bring that comparison to the fucking table.
Because it's really simple. Because they fucking hate us. They absolutely hate the Green Brigade. Hate them. They don't hate the Union Bears. They don't hate the Union Bears, and that's why I have ended lifelong friendships over the shit that's went on here this last while, because I regard what's happening as a fucking travesty. Now, I understand that people have all their own views on the Green Brigade and all of that stuff. I get this, but the bottom line is the Green Brigade might well be absolute bastards, but there are absolute bastards. It's as simple as that. There are boys. There are fans. Do you know what I mean? So it's like fucking bury your hatchets, folks, because we'll fucking need them. And you can see people forget why you needed a Green Brigade in the first place. And I spoke about it on here the other week where I was at a match during only the first year and I heard a guy opening a packet of crisps about 15 fucking feet away. That's how bad the atmosphere was at the time. And that's where first came the Jungle Boys and then came the Green Brigade and all of that. And there's no point in rehashing the history. All I'm fucking saying is that we need to get the stadium back that the where it was and where it had been. It's as simple as that. How we do that, I don't fucking know. I just don't know if Celtic are washing their fucking, doing a Pontius fucking Pilate and washing their hands of it, then it's very difficult to see how it gets resolved. And I noticed, I didn't see it at the game, but I noticed there was a Hargreaves out banner over at the boys' side. Fair play to him, because he's obviously the problem here. And he's employed by fucking Celtic. What the fuck? Like, he's an employee.
He's the only representative. He's Celtic's only representative at the meetings with this safety advisory group. And how the fuck does that work?
It's the tail wagging the fucking dog.
Yeah, totally, man.
It's the tail wagging the dog. So look, I don't know. I thought the atmosphere was fine on Saturday for what it was. The crowd were completely invested in the game, you know, and they were definitely fucking cheering them on. But I think the bigger question of this is all, and I asked it on the huddle board tonight, is Yang getting his bag emptied? Because if you remember correctly, his bird turned up about this time last year.
And he was on fire. He was on fire.
So
Well, somebody's doing it.
I have a feeling we might be in the same fucking situation here. Questions should be asked. That woman should be. We should fucking crowdfund a couple of flights.
Get her in the lounge on free stay.
Get her in the lounge.
Get her into
That's it. Get her on the Guinness, for fuck's sake.
As much as you can drink.
Get her in with Sparta, Jason.
Oh man, what a laugh! It was Sunday. It was.
No,
You know, so like we could all be pulling in the right direction if people buried their fucking hatchets here and swallowed their pride and fucking agreed to a temporary solution or fucking something. But it's a disgrace that them boys have paid whatever the fuck they paid for their season tickets and they haven't been allowed in since October.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
It's very serious. Do you know what I mean? Call a truce, let them back in, and let us old boys buy the Fenian tracksuits. It's time to call a truce here.
I know. I was surprised at the amount of people on the boat that had the fucking tracksuits on. By the way, just you mentioned this earlier about young people. Now, I was on the boat for the first time this season, and the amount of fucking young people, like under the age of 25, watching Celtic is fucking great.
Good.
It's easily the minority. Now, all the old hands was there. I saw everybody need to see Shimmy Rice, fucking Paul O'Brien, Jim Greenan, Digney. They were all there. It was great just to get a arm everybody, but see the fucking amount of young people on going over, like we're in fucking safe hands. Totally fucking safe hands. Millions of kids and millions of teens and young adults, like girls, millions of girls, loads and loads of girls, young girls going over as well. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bollocks of a fucking trip because the Stena has the smaller boat on at the minute. So there was only fucking 80 on our bus. You know, 80 was only we were only 80 places for the club, whereas our club takes 3 buses. Do you know what I mean? So you could have put another 500 Tims on the fucking boat if you had the room. Do you know what I mean? Easily. So it's just fucking great. It's brilliant to see. Absolutely brilliant to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Happy days, boys. So,
the mood is fucking high. The mood is high.
Sunday.
Look at this mood.
Paradise and Sunday, bring it on.
Panadice. I'd love to be going on Sunday too, to be honest. Some crack in the shed, like. It's good fun.
I've not been in there for years. I always end up, because my mates in Walkie gets tickets, I always end up in Jerry Kerr.
The Jerry Kerr, that's fucking nothing wrong with that. But the troops will be in good fucking form. So they will. Absolutely good form. And big shout out to my friends from the Vogue. It was their annual dinner dance on Friday night. That's one of the reasons why we haven't seen McCurry tonight.
Well, we haven't seen McCurry in about fucking, I don't know, 6 months.
He never smiles. He's permanently
started like
steaming.
fucking Scott McCurry's like fucking Tom Hanks in Castaway. He just fucking disappeared for 5 years and fucking rock up Sunday at your front door.
If Tom Hanks or if fucking DiCaprio and Castaway was a fucking alcoholic, that's the fucking thing. If he was,
we need to add him to the list of.
Fucking Buckfast away.
Rogue dance is always a great night too. I've done a few times. Brilliant.
Yeah, let's get the players back and let's get McCurry back for the running. We need him.
That's it. We need
McCurry energy. He's fucking. He's gone existential dread the past month or two, and it's fucking.
Scott's just sitting in his room talking to Mr. Wilson now.
He's sitting there waiting for the Willie Hockey's £10 million to land.
Mr. Wilson, his wee hair.
What happened to that fucking bullshit? I raised that earlier.
I think I wanted to bring up was Willie Hockey's millions and Brian Wilson's fucking video.
Brian Wilson's video was a fucking joke. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, he sat there basically and said, "I can't do anything about anything." What the fuck? Go away.
See, Party's video was actually all right. See, when he was talking about he sort of exonerated the Celtic fans of blame. He's like, people run on the park. He says it's not the dumb thing, but it happens. And he says, trying to, like, so I kind of like that bit, but then when they started talking about the Green Brigade, you're like, oh, away you two fuck.
It's just pathetic. It's stage managed, but at least he came out and said something. But like you're going, but Brian Wilson's a politician. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, all that stuff comes easy to him.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's not it's fucking.
Oh, they
He's
could
not
tell,
exactly.
tell a lie at the drop of a hat.
But even that, that's just the way the whole thing's formatted. You know, Jerry goes in and goes to Brian, right, Brian, here's what question we're asking you. Anything you want to change? Oh, fuck, don't be asking me that one here, but you can ask me this. I mean, who fucking cares? Who cares? And then all these people go, oh, well done, Mr. Wilson. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's the least he should be fucking doing. Do you know? Jesus Christ, doing a wee video here and there. What the fuck? That's what we've come down to.
But it's not a thing, though. Like, that's the most information or communication we've had from anybody at that level at Celtic.
The last one was Nicholson telling us all he was going to go for Nancy 70 million is fucking spent.
So the next video is only fucking I suppose motivated or produced or proposed because of some crises that has happened. I mean, like this is not leadership.
Well, the only other thing is the only other question we didn't really reflect on when we were talking about the Motherwell match was is Jens Bertel going to be our next manager? What do you reckon?
Here's the thing. Few check boxes. He's got talent. He probably wants a good contract, and he probably has other options. So I'd say no, because I have no faith in us not fucking things up.
I'm kind of with that, Joe. He should be our new manager. He's sitting there as plain in the nose in your face. You know, he knows the league. You know, and like the football he's produced. Can you imagine he's got a better squad of players to play that way? You know, it'd be outstanding. See, we're turning up to watch Celtic play the way Motherwell play with our players. It'd be brilliant.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought watching the game on Saturday. Going like the way they're playing looks the way that I want to see us fucking playing.
Aye, absolutely.
And he's doing this with a squad of, like, I'm not saying substandard players, but Scottish League players.
I've got a feeling that Tony Bloom would have him at Brighton, because he's obviously watching him. You know, and that could happen. But I mean, they'd be offered nothing to actually go for him.
I'd love to see him there personally.
Me as well. The folk are saying that's a big step up from Motherwell to Celtic. Yeah, man, the guy's a fucker manager. You know, he knows how to fucking motivate players. He knows how to get players set up playing in the right way. And I think as well,
what happened in Knows the League? Fuck me.
See the thing for me, like Celtic, our starting 11 every week is different, right? So it's really hard to get cohesion in the team. See that Motherwell team, even when they do change their personnel, every one of them knows where the other guy is. You see them not even looking up and just passing balls. They know somebody's going to be in that position. They're like a well-oiled machine that they all move together. And as you say, Marty, with the triangles, they know where everybody's going to be. And it's the triggers, see what Barcelona did years ago, and I know it's like saying Barcelona, right? You're not equating Motherwell to them. But they know when the guy plays the first part of the triangle, other guys are making that run so that when the third pass gets made, the other guy's made the run down the wing or whatever, then they know he's away. It was like they triggers that they were on about Barcelona with that tippy-tappy stuff years ago, how it was all triggers. When certain moves started, then other players that were out with that move were all making their moves, so that because they knew where the ball was going to be. And I think Motherwell play that kind of way. But kind of well drilled, and they know exactly wherever they should be in the park.
If you go back to the podcast that Scott did with Brian McColligan, and he said the very same thing. He said, good movement in football comes with good coaching from players knowing how they should react, when they should react, and what they're doing.
Aye.
And you can see that, Motherwell. You can see it. I mean, like, and again, it sounds boring to say they're well drilled, because when they operate that way, it's exciting football. Right?
Totally. I mean, it'd be a no-brainer for me to get him in a Celtic. And he's been to a few of our games, so you don't know if they have sounded him out or whatever. And I'd take that Elijah just in a minute.
I was told they're interviewing him, so I think he's in the mix. I don't think he's the chosen one, but I think he's in the mix. And if you look back at his managerial record, it's nothing to write home about. Really, he he was maybe winning 14 matches but losing 13. So he's managed by clubs. He's managed Gothenburg and I think it was Torshavn, one of the fucking Scandinavian teams. Are they in Norway or fucking Sweden? Torshavn, I think, or Norway, aren't they? But anyway, he managed them. He managed a couple of other teams I really just didn't know. So he's not coming with a fucking stellar management record, but he comes with a better record than fucking Wilfred Nancy.
No, why?
You know what I mean? At least he's managed big clubs.
I'm fucking part of this fucking thinking. Pension a guy from Motherwell also puts me in the mindset of going like, Celtic are just picking off good luck in many respects. Going like, oh, Motherwell got this dude, it's fucking good. Let's go and pick him off, rather than actually developing a structure and a process whereby you can identify these things.
I agree completely. I mean, and that's one of the criticisms of it, that there's no planning really. They're just seeing who's there. But you would imagine there will be other candidates involved. And again, I'm assuming they're not asked Martin O'Neill, which is fair enough, but it seems pretty fucking daft, like, having this guy in the building and not saying, well, who do you reckon? Any recommendations? You don't have to take them, but you should be asking. And but Martin O'Neill's just amazing. Do you know what I mean? He just really is a great, great man. We owe him a lot. And he's an old man. Like, you can see my ma. My ma says to me last week after the penalties, she says, I suppose Martin O'Neill was jumping the boot again, or no, jumping the boot like a head case. And I went, no, I don't think he's allowed because of his fucking age. Because he did it at the start, and then he
has an insurance clause.
I think he sort of mentioned it. He said, like, at my age, my health, I shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? And you can see him. He's trying to be very calm about things. And after their goal on Saturday, he went fucking mental. He was screaming and shouting up along the touchline, making.
There was a few good videos of him just fucking like demanding things off players.
Oh fuck! He was turning paint off the walls. He was internally fucking hell. He was giving it the heat, but he's 74. I mean, fucking hell, he's a year younger than fucking
Marty. My dad's 74. I couldn't get my dad out the fucking Glencullen Park for a walk.
My dad can't walk the fucking PD for fuck's sake. And Martin O'Neill's jumping up and down like a head case on the fucking touchline, still operating at a very, very high level of football at that age, like a septuagenarian. So it's like we owe him so much that he did come back. And imagine Dermot Desmond if he had said fucking no. Where would he have went next? Gordon Strachan, Ronnie Taylor, back down the fucking hit list. Postecoglou was never coming.
It'd be Neil Lennon. It'd be Neil Lennon a bit.
Or fucking Neil Lennon. Jesus Christ.
Neil Lennon's basically in the bushes of every contract fucking negotiation, let's say.
But Robbie Keane's, you can bet your balls Robbie Keane's in the mix here.
Can I ask an honest question? Does anybody... here's two arguments I've seen online. It's like Robbie Keane has a record now of actually progressing teams, which makes sense football-wise. The other one is the obvious one, that his presence will be, unwelcome, given his choices in terms of the shekels he's taken. What do you think about that?
He can go fuck.
I feel the same way.
He's worked in two shithole countries. He's worked in fucking Hungary. Who gives a fuck about Ferencváros? Who gives a fuck about Maccabi Tel Aviv? Fucking nobody. We're sitting here ripping the balls out of fucking Jens fucking Bertolascu, and he's fucking near putting himself. We're getting to that stadium and started shading ourselves, and we're going to fucking win. Who gives a fuck about Robbie Keane? Do you know what I mean? But I'm telling you now, he'd be in.
I know, but that's the problem. It's the connection by association to Dermot Desmond more than anything else.
Oh, totally. Dermot Desmond will pick our next manager, and the problem is he doesn't watch Scottish football, so he won't be in the fucking Jens Bertolascu's fucking corner. He won't want him.
No, he's got Robbie Keane written all over him, isn't he?
He totally does, Liam. And this again goes back to the core of the collective and the decision making of the club and all that. And fucking all that. And if Robbie Keane joins us, I am telling you now, he will be a fucking disaster. Because the fans will be on his back from day fucking one. He will not get a chance. They'll want him out. and he'll get sacked. I'm telling you now, he will not last. Or Desmond will dig his heels in and refuse to sack him. And we'll be back in the same position we were in this year with fucking Nancy.
I mean, it's a typical Celtic thing to do, isn't it?
You can totally, Jason, you can just see it coming.
I can always mind when Everton get Rafa Benitez as their manager, right? And I was just like, I said, what the fuck? I mean, not one Evertonian liked him or gave him any. I mean, obviously the guy's got a pedigree, he's a decent football manager, but his time had gone and passed. But it was just an absolute disaster waiting to happen, and it just the rift it put with the fan base. And you're like, why are these guys running the club actually even considering getting somebody like that in there?
Do you think that's the case?
You can't read a room.
Do you think that's the case, though? Do you think it's not going to be a universal negative appointment, right?
No, it'll split the fan base.
Robbie Keane?
Yeah.
Robbie Keane will be. There will be.
Marty, see with the collective and see with the Green Brigade and all this stuff, right? The exact same groups will feel the exact same about this, right?
There will be banners in the stands from ordinary people.
I
know there won't be a massive tifo in the North Curve because they'll be fucking banned.
No, but listen.
You get loads of Celtic fans who'll buy into him.
Yeah, totally.
It'll be a 50-50 split.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that just care about football and they just don't hanky anything else and just say, well, he's a Celtic supporter, he's done well, with Ferenc Varos, done all right in Europe. But for me, if you get the choice of the two of them, Jens Bertalascu or Robbie Keane, it's a no-brainer you go for Jens Bertalascu.
Yeah.
It's definitely, without a doubt, the lowest risk gamble. Plus, every supporter will be behind them. If you're running a football club and you say to yourself, we get this guy in here and it's going to cause a bit of rift, right? We probably don't want to do that because it's going to be more hassle than it's worth. Why would you even consider it? But they're that fucking stupid, they might.
They're probably not even thinking it will cause a rift, Jason. They're probably not even fucking having that natural thinking.
They don't.
Honestly, man.
I know.
He ticks all the boxes.
But as you say, he's obviously got a relationship with Desmond or whatever Marty has.
And that means more than football, apparently.
It's bonkers. I mean, you would think to yourself, if you were him, would you want to come to Celtic? He's maybe that fucking head in the clouds that he thinks.
I was just going to say, he's probably a pretty oblivious to
Israel. He will come to Celtic.
He'd go anywhere.
But I just think if we don't go for Jens, if we don't get him the now, I think he's destined to be a top manager somewhere. And if we don't get him the now, we won't get a chance to get him again. And he's right in front of our face.
Yep.
He'll be on what in Motherwell, on $3,000 a week or something like that. He'll not be on big wages at all. So if you want to get him in and give him like a good contract, £1 million a year or something like that, you can bite the hand off you.
Well, that might be just what sells him.
But he's got a bit about him. When he talks about football, you listen. I've not listened to that open goal. They've done an interview with him. I need to listen to that, but I do like listening to the guy, and but we'll wait and see. But I'm kind of with Joe. I've got no confidence in Celtic doing the right thing. So we'll wait and see. We were all happy to finishing the pod my down. I was a bit of a down on myself, but there we go.
I wouldn't say a downer. I'd say it's more of a kind of distant hope.
Distant hope.
I'm not on a fucking downer. Here, I think we're fucking flying. I mean, I really do think we're at the tails up end of the fucking.
Well, here's the thing. See if Matt O'Neill would sign up for another year. Would you do that?
No, he won't, Jason. He's already said he can't. There's not a chance. He's too old. Could you imagine? He sounds exhausted. He sounds completely exhausted.
You'd give him a director of football job, though.
No, totally. You'd give him anything, Joe. Any fucking thing. Anything at all to keep him at the... You would do what you did with Tommy Burns. Put him in charge of youth academy. An ambassadorial role. You're a fucking guy who goes and who you send in to woo your prospective signing.
Keep that energy around, though.
Anything.
His family still live in London, but don't they?
Not London. Oakham. just beside Wickham. Beside Wickham.
But
Well, his girls are grown up. It's him and Geraldine. It's not. His girls are grown up and married and moved on. Do you know what I mean? He's two girls. They'd be in their 40s now, maybe late 30s, 40s. You know, so they're.
you wouldn't see him, like his wife, moving up here and stuff like that, you know, because if you were a
No,
director, but you couldn't do that for remote.
you wouldn't need to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's
Nah.
like give him a sort of role where he should be the cunt who is selling the club to prospective fucking players.
Yeah.
He's the.
He should be heavily involved in transfers and
Get him.
like,
It doesn't
player
matter who they're-
liaison, whatever the fuck you want to call it,
Listen,
whatever the fuck it is.
we're setting Martin O'Neill near the door.
Aye.
Martin O'Neill, listen,
He's like
just open
Celtic
the door.
Santa Claus. I mean,
Honest to God, like,
turn up
like
and sprinkle big fucking green dust in your head and go,
that's
let's go.
exactly. All the guys in the background do all the work and just send O'Neill in.
Aye.
Clinch the fucking. Here's your contract when he is signing.
Come on,
Do you know what I
son.
mean? And you've,
Come on,
and you've-
son. You know you
but
want to. Come on,
you've
son.
seen
Come
the
on,
way
son. You know you want to.
like the players who are playing now. I'm sure some of those players weren't even born when O'Neill left Celtic. Like,
Aye.
what age is Kobe Donovan? He's only a kid,
He's 18 or 19.
right? So there you go. He wasn't even fucking born.
He was in a handkerchief.
No, I mean that's like he was the fucking twinkle in his daddy's eye when Martin O'Neill left Celtic. So that's the way he's elevated players who have no idea who he was. He's come in and said, right, here we go. And Maloney will be telling him, I worked under this guy. He is fucking something else. So it elevates the whole thing, the whole fucking show. And I'm confident. I think we'll win the league.
But the way you've described that, Marty, makes me believe that the rising tide of Martin O'Neill's influence in the second interim period is now coming to a point whereby it's at the apex and the collision and the intersection of players coming back and a belief and a will about the players that have been there, that they've bought into him so much and they've bought into what's going on so much. And that can only really collectively be a massive big boost.
You take a look at that match on Saturday. Celtic played really well. Well, the whole match, like under the caution the first half, fair enough. But in general, we played sound without Cal McGregor.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd have gone, fuck, we really miss McGregor. Well, we really didn't miss McGregor. We were all right. We got by. Do you know what I mean? So, if you've got that kind of energy coming back into the fucking squad and you've got to, you know, you can't fucking do it. Great. I think we'll be okay.
Well, that's the positive off ramp we fucking need.
Oh, fucking right. I'm totally positive, absolutely positive under Martin O'Neill. No fucking sweat. We can do it. Whether we do it is a totally different matter. Plus, we're in the cup with a cup semi-final as well. So,
yeah, that's the big thing, Marty. We've still got a chance to finish off at Hampden in the sun.
100%, Liam. And that should be the focus. The focus should be in May.
Yeah.
With a happy May.
Yeah, agreed.
And everybody's pulling in the fucking same direction.
Fuck.
And if only we could get our board to get into the same fucking zone. Because they're letting us down. But football-wise, we'll be so. I think we'll be okay. Really do. I think Hearts will drop points. I think Rangers will drop points again. Neither of them are. They're both poor. I mean, I watched Rangers against fucking Cimarron yesterday. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell, Cimarron had no manager. Fucking some guy only turned up a couple of days before. Took charge. He was another 18 coach or something. Whatever the fuck it was.
It's from Rutherglen.
You know what I mean? It's like they struggle to put them away. You know, so there's, as you said, you lay out the games we'll have at home.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. Really do. Higgins has rubbed off me. He's always Mr. Fuck. He's always Mr. Fucking Positive, but I actually am.
I haven't been this year, but I'm kind of getting there.
No, but this is again, it's the business end of the season. We've got big players all over the park. We didn't even talk about fucking Yang's second goal. Route 1 football, top of the fucking head, and Yang went in and fucking rifled that ball.
I know.
Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good football. You know, and simple football. Sometimes the simple fucking way is the fucking best.
Right,
Not the
fine,
horse-
Shara.
not the
Fucking,
fucking-
I was going to craft that one because like he kind of fucking forced the back line to stand with him, and then the ball goes
Aye.
from him, then fucking.
But,
Yang ran
but
there.
that's the point. Like, it's not always about the horseshoe of death. Sometimes you just need to fucking go for it. And all the Celtic players have ability. They've all got ability. Some of them maybe haven't played very much football. Some of them are maybe square pegs and round holes. People like Negrin can blow hot and cold. Tanaka can blow hot and cold. But they're all fucking decent players. If you can work out a fucking way of getting them all to play the way you want, then and that's what O'Neill and Maloney are paid for. You know,
Well, I've got to jump off, guys. I think we're done.
wrap it up. Too fuck.
Yep.
Wrap it up,
I
yeah,
think as well, guys.
Wrap it
God
up,
bless,
yeah,
gents.
fuck.
It was good.
That was good fun, boys. Aye, sweet. That was good.
Enjoy your day tomorrow, guys. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeehaw.
Public holiday tomorrow. Let's go to fuck.
I'm not a big St. Paddy's fan. St. Patrick's is
You know
more
what?
for the, I think, the diaspora. So, with that in mind, I want to congratulate everybody who was involved in the St. Patrick's Day festivities in Glasgow at the weekend. It looked absolutely brilliant. And the fury and the fucking rage, it was just manna from heaven. Because it was completely inoffensive. It all seemed like good crack. Everybody seemed to be having a fucking total ball. So, well done, everybody who was involved. First class.
Yeah.
There's a great day tomorrow. I'm working, unfortunately, but there you go.
I'm not necessarily the biggest Paddy's Day fan, but I do enjoy seeing people embrace Irish culture.
Correct.
There we go.
Yeah, well, folks.
Hail, hail.
Hawaii.